Hi, I'm Allie Reynolds with Allie's Organics, and I'm going to show you how to break ground for a new vegetable bed. Now, typically we're not going to be doing it this close to a fruit tree, but for lack of space, we're just going to use this little area right here. So if you've got grass in an area, we want to make sure that we move the grass. And you can just take your shovel and just move it right along just to get that grass out of the way. Now, we're going to work this spot here, when I like to just loosen the soil up with a shovel just a little bit to help break things up. You don't want the soil wet. Anytime you're working the ground, you don't want it wet. But moist is good because it's easier to work that soil. So here I'm just loosening that up just a little bit. And you can see that it's really clay soil, so we need to add some amendments to it. And some of the things that I always like to add, if it's really clay, I like to add perlite, which is this right here. So I'm just going to put some perlite in here. And I always add peat moss to my soil. Helps hold the nutrients, helps retain water, helps loosen up that soil. So I'll put some of that in there. And then of course, you can never have a garden without compost. This is my compost, a little rough around the edges, but I love it. So good for the soil. And a tiller is really helpful. You can turn this by hand, but it's a lot of work. You'd just be flipping it upside down several times. But as you can see, you end up with you end up with big old clumps. So it's nicer if you have a tiller to break those up. Otherwise, you're going to have more labor, but more exercise. Just got this little tiller, which I like. I've got raised beds, and so it works in that. But a big tiller, if you've got a big area, is probably better than one of these guys. We're just going to fire this dude up. We're going to work the soil. With one of these, we want to let it pull forward and then we pull back. And of course, in a bigger area, you'd go one direction and then come back the other way. And do this until it looks really broke up. You can see that our clay clumps are broke up and it's nice and loamy. And now it'll actually be able to breathe and we can plant. Now we can add some amendments to this at this point. We can add some green sand to it, which is a potassium, feeds the overall health of the plant. We can add some soft rock phosphate to it. And then whatever we're planting, we can add other stuff later. But that's just a good base to start your soil. Ready to go. Easy as that.